Amna Imran, and I'm currently doing BBA from NUST. I'm gonna reach my third year. In my background, I think I grew up in the USA. I moved here when I was about 13, and ever since then I've been here. So what inspired me is from childhood I always loved drawing. I didn't paint though, I just drew with chalk and stuff. So it's always been in me. Maybe a lot of it had to do with watching cartoons, with watching animated movies. Because my brain went to that thing that I also want to draw Barbie, I also want to paint this and stuff. So that was the initial inspiration. But when I started painting, I think just seeing people's work, just seeing random paintings on walls and stuff, there wasn't one specific person or one specific painting. It was just like, if someone can make this, why don't I try to make this? So the mediums question is funny because I think I worked with so many mediums in my life. I started with pencil, then I went to chalk on blackboards, then I went to board markers, then I went to sketching pencils, then I went to colored pencils. So I had this huge craze of colored pencils at one point. So the one I work primarily with right now, I recently started oil painting and I'm shifting to that, but mostly in terms of painting and the business standpoint, acrylic paints. That is the paint that I am most professional in and that I've been using in my professional endeavor as well. So by this point I'd been painting not that much, and a lot of people started telling me you can make this a business, and I was 17 and I didn't believe people would buy it. I genuinely, that didn't even cross my mind. I just really loved doing it. And so I remember this classmate, this old classmate, her mother wanted one of my calligraphy paintings. So she's like, can I buy it? And I'm like, buy it? Wow, that's cool. And I'm like, sure. And the price was only $2,500 for a 18 by 24 inch painting. And I remember I made it once and I wasn't satisfied. So then I made it again and then I got satisfied. And it was hard to make, but I did it and I delivered it myself. At that point, I was so young, I didn't know about Kareem or anything. Today, 15,000 is gonna equate to maybe 30, 40, okay? So back then it was less, but art supplies prices have increased because primarily the supplies that I use is Mary's. It's a Chinese brand and its price has gone up because of inflation. It's still not that expensive. So for someone who has no artistic experience, I will still suggest to get the good quality product because you're selling it to someone. So Mary's is your go-to here. So the price has doubled ever since 2020. So 30,000 tak. So you have to look around with what you can do and how much cheap you can go to sustain that. In the beginning, it wasn't hard. I had a lot of motivation. It's been 5 years, and I cannot tell you how much difficulties I faced because motivation is a temporary thing. It comes and goes. Either some days you don't want to do it. The hardest thing is to keep your consistency, which is something I've struggled with throughout these 5 years. You know, it's not that I don't love painting. Painting is like my lifeline. It's more that, do I love it enough to show it? Do I love it enough to market it? Do I love it enough to make videos of it? That is called discipline. For art, you need to build a portfolio sometimes to sell. So I kept doing that and keeping that in mind. So the buyers eventually started changing. They started branching out. And now today, it's like some classmate, some international buyer, someone from university. It is so diverse. And the pricing is based on that diversity as well. Social media has been the one thing that actually helped it grow because I always had my page, Artsy Amna, and even before I started selling, I would always post on that, and people knew okay, I was Artsy Amna and stuff like that. Now they knew okay, I loved sketching and whatever. and social media just gave me an outlet to share that. Recently, I got another opportunity through social media. Of course, I have had to veer off of social media sometimes too when it comes to parents, when it comes to events and stuff. Sometimes it's just individual contact, WhatsApp and stuff. But social media has a huge hand in your marketing if you know how to use it. My upcoming projects have a lot to do with therapy techniques and art, and someone who has experience in that, someone who's researching on that, working with people on that, I think I can do really good with that, because this is really needed in our society. When I see that the only outlet the students around me have are basically their phones, their dopamine, their reels, that's what I see basically. I realize we've lost something called in therapy called mindfulness. That's a technique where you're in the moment, you're in the present, you're not escaping. So art makes you practice that, and I taught the people that in the conduction workshop where I was, doing that, and I realized that this actually works. It can actually help people tune into themselves and heal through that. So that is one thing I am still working on, and still it's a very, very vague, but it's something I want to do. This one, the one I just told you, this is exactly what I want to work on. This, and also another dream I've had is to promote Islam, because I do a lot of Islamic art in countries abroad. So if there's exhibitions, shared exhibitions, I want to show the people, I want to show the world that Islam is peaceful. My paintings always exhibit the peaceful side of Islam, because I believe Islam is inherently peaceful, and I believe that the media has portrayed it as something that it isn't abroad, unfortunately. So I want to do my part in that as well. I want to show the world that no, you guys are blindsided. This is what it is. It's beautiful.
That's very inspirational. Thank you.